your host, and I am here on 100 Live, and I am here with Mr. Antonio Fargas, and I'm going to be asking him some questions. Thank you for being here.
That's my pleasure.
Mr. Antonio Fargas, how did you become an actor? What inspired you to become an actor?
Well, it's a long story, but it sort of started when I was an infant. My mother said that when I cried, it sounded like I was singing. So she always thought I would be in show business. And then when I was 4, I lived in New York. I was one of 11 children. And when I was living in New York, growing up, at about the age of 14, there was an ad in the newspaper called the Amsterdam News. It's out of Harlem. And they were casting a film about gangs, sort of like a film that you may not know about, but called West Side Story, about a youngster who was coming of age by having to prove himself by being in this gang. So I went down at my mother's urging. She said, "Why don't you try out for this?" And I said, "Oh, I don't know." And I was always known as the sensitive one in the family. And I was called the lawyer because I could solve everybody's problems. Because growing up with a lot of children in one household, there was always like problems and fights, and not fights, but disagreement. We loved each other very much, but there was always disagreements and all that. So anyway, I said yes, I'd go and try out, and I was 14 years old, and I'm 70 today. So that was 57 years ago this summer, and it's been a long journey to get here to be interviewed by you.
How did it go?
How'd it go? Well, I think it went pretty well. I've been able to do a lot of movies, a lot of television shows, and entertain people and meet a lot of people, and it opened up my whole world to be an actor. I never thought I would, be on that television screen, and like you, being an interviewer, on television. You're starting much younger than I started, so the world is open for you.
What advice would you give to a black male like me?
Wow. I think you're on the right path. I think being in school is the most important thing you can do, educating yourself, and the opportunities that you would have come alive. The more you know, the better you do. And so you've got college, you have all these other things, and who knows what your final occupation may be, but it may be in television. But this experience will pay off as you secure it by following your educational path.
Thank you for that inspirational talk.
My pleasure.
And my third question is, what is your favorite part in the show Everybody Hates Chris?
I did 2 series. One for 4 years called Starsky and Hutch. That was way back. Your grandparents don't know about that. And then I did Everybody Hates Chris for 4 years. And what was special about that was that I played a father figure, a grandfather figure to Chris in the show. I had a little store, and he worked in the store, and we had a chance to. It was a very well written show by Chris Rock. It's about Chris Rock's life. It's a comedian, and it was like I'd grown from doing young parts to doing older parts, and it felt very good to be involved in a show that affects young people's lives, because young people looked at that show. In fact, I wanted to show some of the episodes to the young people at the Academy, because it's such an important part of education, by showing what the things that Chris goes through are things that every young person goes through.
That was
so the role was Doc in the store.
That is interesting. And now it's time for our 30-second random talk.
Uh-oh.
Well, your favorite character is Huggy Bear and Starsky, and Hutch and Doc from Everybody Hates Chris.
Right.
What do you like about them?
Well, Huggy Bear was a survivor. He was a young guy who didn't have the opportunities that you have and that I had as a young actor, because I was playing a character who was he was allegedly an informer, but he was a friend of 2 police officers, and he survived through his wit, through comedy, and by being able to laugh and make jokes and all of that, and then. guess, let me see, from Starsky and Hutch. I did that when I was 28 years old. And I did Everybody Hates Chris when I was about 65. So between then, I've grown up, and Doc, again, that was two shows that I did for 4 years because I had a long relationship with the cast in each one of those shows, and to watch Chris grow up and to watch Starsky and Hutch evolve from where we started the show to where we ended 4 years later was a very, very special time in my life.
That must be enjoyable.
Oh yeah, I had a lot of fun, but it was hard work.
What year did you start acting?
Let's see. I was going into high school, so that was about 1961, 62, I think. That's when I got that role in The Cool World. I was just going into high school. I did that, and then I went into high school. And before I graduated, I did a play. My parents went to pick up my diploma in high school because I was cast in a play to go to Europe, and I went toured all over Europe, and I turned 18 in Israel, and I played in a play called Amen Corner by James Baldwin. It's an African-American writer, and it was a wonderful, wonderful experience to be 17 and traveling all over Europe and going to London and to Germany and to Paris and all those places. And I was very, very fortunate.
My second question for the 30-second random questions is most memorable role car wash across 110th Street, or Am I Gonna Sit?
Get You Sucker.
Yeah.
Well, each one of those is special. Sometimes people ask me what's my favorite role. And being a father, it's almost like I can't choose one. Each one of those parts was like one of my children, and I can't choose one over the other. So I love the part in Car Wash. I played this, was it a gay, you could say, there's a gay character who was a survivor. And in I'm Gonna Get You Sucker, it was this I did a lot of roles. It was he was a pimp in I'm Gonna Get You Sucker. And one of the things about what I do is almost like being a teacher. Sometimes we have to do controversial roles, and now that I'm a father and a grandfather, I look at that as very important to be able to teach that you can play something, but you don't have to be something, and you also affect people who watch those things. So sometimes we have to teach controversial subjects, and that's why we take those kinds of chances. And I took a lot of chances. I did roles that other people wouldn't do, and or didn't think that they would be able to pull it off. But I had also a great respect for the urban characters that I played, because I played a lot of characters that I would see in my neighborhood and all of that. And they weren't always the ones that were represented on television. So the character Lindy in Car Wash was somebody who didn't get a chance to be represented on television. Now it's represented on television and film, and all those things are almost, everybody's doing that kind of thing, and there's much more sensitivity to our plight as African Americans in our communities and all of that. So it was just nice to be in the beginnings of that.
I hope that helped our viewers.
I hope so.
And that was really interesting.
Thank you.
Our third question is the best being actor Sidney Poitier or Louis Gossett Jr.?
Sidney Poitier or Louis Gossett Jr. Boy, you're doing some hard ones at me. Sidney was a pioneer. He was one of the first African American movie stars, and he paved the way for me. He paved the way for Louis Gossett Jr. He paved the way for Denzel Washington, and so we have a special reverence for him. He was an Academy Award winner, a father, just an all-around good human being, and someone who, without having to do it personally, but also in a sense mentored me because he showed me the way. Louis Gossett Jr. was somebody who came up around my time. He was a little bit before me in New York, because a lot of people came out. In fact, Sidney Poitier came out of New York. He was born in the Bahamas, but but he studied his craft in New York as well as Louis Gossett Jr. And Louis Gossett Jr. is one of our distinguished actors in the business, and I'm proud to call both of them friends.
Are you still acting with them today?
Well, we as we get older, there's less and less opportunities. So I find the best things that I can do with my time is I work at the West Las Vegas Arts Center. I work with the 100 Black Men of Las Vegas, and so I'm more working in the community and giving back and sharing my strength, hope, and experience with young people and giving them life skills through the arts to be able to survive in a hostile world. And one of the main things that we try to teach is the respect for education, family, and the spiritual side.
That must be really great.
Well, it has great rewards when you see the light come on in young people's eyes, when you see them come back to the community and come back to Las Vegas or to the West Las Vegas Arts Center, or even come back to the 100 and share their experience, because there's some people whose shoulders you guys stand on, and I know whose shoulders I stand on. And so my main goal is to, all the experience I have in all the movies and all of that has brought me to be sitting here next to you, sharing my strength, hope, and experience, and telling that you can do this too. But it takes hard work.
Really hard work?
Really hard work.
And my last question is, what is the best seafood or steak you've ever eaten?
Ooh, seafood. I love seafood. I like sushi. I like Thai food. Anything with shrimp in it is like, I love it. What other food did you say?
Or steak?
Or steak. I like a steak every now and then. I like a good steak every now and then, but I love barbecue. I do a lot of the barbecuing at my house, and smoking meats and all of that. I love meat, but I'm eating less and less of it. As you get older, you don't need that so much, but I love me some barbecue, and I love me some fish.
It tastes really good, doesn't it?
Oh yeah, with my mouth water.
Thank you for being here.
Oh, it's a pleasure. It's a real pleasure to be here. Thank you.
My name is Aloya Bramo, and we are here at 100 Live, and we're with Mr. Antonio Fargas, and we're tuning in next time.